tell me, what was it like? Like, I know we first spoke on the phone before you came to us.
Yes.
What was life like when you first made that call? Where were you at? What was going on?
Well, on the outside, it was definitely good. Had a good job, full time, heaps of friends. But on the inside, not so good.
Yeah.
I just got separated from my wife. I was hurting on the inside. There was no self-love.
Yeah.
And I was just lost, really.
Yeah.
Lost on the inside.
Yeah,
I was
wow.
just continuing my ways of life that I knew how to protect myself was just to keep busy and then mask the pain with alcohol and drugs on the weekend.
Wow, okay, yep.
So
So what I'm hearing is, externally, if people were to look at your life, it was like, this guy's killing it, he's got a good job, he's got good friends, he's a nice guy, but inside, and he might have been life of the party, playing up on weekends and stuff like that, yeah?
yeah, definitely.
Cheeky laugh. But then the actual experience of that was, like you said, it was pretty not very good, not very pleasant.
No, not at all. Like
Yeah.
I said, on the inside I was just hurting and didn't know where to go
Yeah,
or
wow.
what to do.
Wow, okay.
But I knew I needed to make a change.
Yeah, wow. And so what were some of the thoughts about coming to talk to someone or do some inner work, or like, what did your head tell you about that? Like, even being a guy too, like...
Well, it helps that my ex-partner went through you guys.
Yeah.
And seeing and talking to her and hearing the results.
Yeah, wow.
Made a huge difference. But also, in the earlier times, I met this older guy through work, and he introduced me to like the universe and all this other powers and stuff. So I sort of dabbled on that,
Yeah.
and it did make it a lot easier. But it wasn't until I had that phone call with you, and I already made up in my mind to make that decision
Yeah, wow.
to come and make this change.
Wow.
Because I would hate to think where I'd be if I didn't
Yeah, wow.
make that change.
Yeah. Like, I remember that first phone call, and yeah, life wasn't really flash, and yeah, you said you were, masking a lot of pain with drugs and alcohol. Can we talk about that pain a little bit?
Yes.
What was going on there? Like, what did it feel like?
Oh, there was basically there was the three fears: abandonment,
Yeah.
powerlessness, worthlessness. There was
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was no self-love. My confidence was down,
Yeah.
and that's why I'd go to alcohol and drugs, because it would bring me confidence and the happiness, and I just wanted to have that feeling. So,
And so, yeah. Sorry, you go.
so I just knew by doing that I'd get that feeling, even though it was short-term
Yeah.
happiness, but long-term pain.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be happy with who I was
Yeah.
and confident.
Yeah. And so, how did it feel to not be happy and confident, and like not, be in this inner pain and no self-love and not know how to do anything? Like, how did that feel? What was life like living that way?
It was tough. Like, those feelings, I just didn't want to feel them. So I'd do everything possible to protect myself
Yes.
with, working hard,
Yeah.
partying hard, like just hanging out with friends, even though I didn't want to sometimes, surrounding myself with people just so I didn't have to be
Yeah.
alone and vulnerable
Wow.
and feel those feelings. So
Wow. So just like you said before, staying really busy, trying to avoid the feelings.
Yeah.
Did it work?
For a short term, yes, but long term, no.
Yeah.
Because those feelings would come back
Yeah.
every time, and I get stronger and stronger, and it just was getting in the way, like the alcohol and that. It just felt worse, and slight depression.
Totally. I
Definitely.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally relate to that, and I know that often we're trying to avoid unpleasant feelings, and so we come up with strategies or behaviours to avoid the unpleasant feelings. And like you said, short term they do work. Like, short term I feel in control, short term I might have a good night, short term I might avoid that feeling, but long term, like you said, they always just keep catching up with me.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
The days after, a big night
Yeah.
were the worst.
Yeah,
Just,
wow.
From abandoning yourself and
Yeah.
your values, and then I'd feel shit about
So
myself.
what does that look like?
Well, basically just writing myself off and really self-centered. It was all about me.
Yeah,
And
wow.
the happiness I was chasing. So, you know, I wouldn't
Wow.
message loved ones, or if my mum called me and I was hungover, I'd avoid picking up the phone because I felt like shit, felt like I disappointed her.
Wow, yeah,
You
wow.
know, so it was really not a good place to be.
Yeah, wow, awesome. Okay. So pretty painful. And when you turned up here, what was kind of the goal? Was it like, I just want to stop drinking on the weekends, or what were you wanting to achieve?
My main goal was to really be happy and content with myself,
Yeah.
sober. Just,
Wow.
you know, and get my confidence back, and just to be the best version of myself
Yep.
every day.
Epic.
That's my goal.
That's your goal.
That's
Yeah,
my goal.
Awesome,
So,
awesome. And so in that process, because like I said, you've come through our immersion program, or the first round of the immersion program, and killed it.
Yeah.
Like, Brenton's one of these guys that turns up to Inner Work Circle now and shares really honestly and really vulnerably, and just kind of, I even take nuggets from some of the stuff he shares. Really.
oh,
And
much appreciated.
yeah, and so, but I know you weren't like that when you first turned up. What were some of the light bulb moments, or what a couple of things that have happened, or stuff that you've had to work through or open your mind to along the way to start to make that change, or to realize stuff needed to change?
The light bulb moments for me was, especially with the Inner Work Circle, you know, for like public speaking.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate and avoided it at all
Yeah,
costs.
yeah. And now he signed up to come here and talk to me on camera to show you guys. Like, that's a pretty big deal, right?
Oh, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know, a year ago or 2 years ago, see you later. No.
No way.
No way.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
I don't know, just something inside of me after doing the one-on-ones just clicked, and I just knew in myself I had to be vulnerable, put myself out there to get the results.
Yeah.
And they were the biggest change from the Inner Work Circle. I remember my first speaking at the circle, shaking, couldn't get the words out right, but I just told
Wow.
myself, look, you're going to be fine, you're not going to die, you have
Yeah.
those feelings. And after that, it just got easier and easier.
Yeah.
So that was a big moment in my life. And then also just my relationships with people, you know, especially my mum. Like, she means a lot to me, but when it came to talking to her, I just couldn't be open and honest for the fear of disappointing her. So
Wow.
we would just have meaningless conversations. And, you know, a few months ago we were on the phone, she said, look, you know, I've always loved you. I said, I've always known that. But she's like, I didn't know how to talk to you. And I said, yeah, I know, because I didn't know how to talk to her.
Wow.
Now our relationship is so much different, open and honest, and it's just amazing.
Wow.
Chasing, and especially with my brothers and sisters, who I want to set an example, and by doing that is by showing them on the outside and doing this inner work, it's possible.
Wow.
So
Amazing. Holy shit, that's big. That's really, really big. Okay, and so having those changes, like, I mean, what's changed with the drinking and the drug taking and stuff like that? Has that changed at all, or?
it definitely changed for a bit. Like, I'll be honest, for a bit.
Yeah.
Definitely, like when I was in a good headspace, I could have a few drinks
Yeah.
and be fine. But when like fears started coming back into it,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I just can't drink. I just know I just can't drink, because it
Yeah. Wow.
takes me back to my old habits and how I used to protect myself. So
Wow.
currently doing dry July, so this is
Nice.
3 weeks, no alcohol. I don't think I've done this since I was 14, so
Wow,
it's all
that's
new
big,
to me.
man.
It is,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of myself for doing it.
Yeah.
There has been, you know, people tempting me, oh, just have a drink, you've done well. And in the past I would, you know, go 2 weeks without a drink, oh, reward myself,
Yeah.
and then back to the same pattern. So
Yeah.
no, I'm feeling really good, and I don't think I'm missing anything with the drugs and alcohol.
Wow.
I'm a lot happier
Awesome, mate.
constantly throughout, you know, every day. So
Really, really cool. Yeah, and it sounds like what you're saying there is the intention that matters, right? Like, if I'm using drugs and alcohol to escape my life, you know, or to avoid fear, or to try and push fear down, it's probably not going to work for me.
definitely,
You know, like,
definitely
it's probably not going to end well.
no.
Right, whereas, and that's not just drugs and alcohol, that's any behavior as well, by the way. Like, some people do that through working, or being a really good parent, or being a really good friend, or being a really good bloke. Like, it's about the intention that we have behind it. And I guess what I'm hearing now is that actually I'm practicing self-love by doing what's right for me.
Yes.
By not drinking,
Yeah.
by having tough conversations with my mum, by setting an example for my family. Like really big and admirable stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Definitely.
Any kind of practices or processes, like anything that you do or like that you learnt in your sessions that kind of changed the game for you? Or was there something that you, yeah?
Well, I started doing a bit of meditation, not as much as I want to, but
Yeah.
it definitely helped with the breathing techniques. But
Yeah.
for me, what I started doing, like I was working 6 days a week, up to 12, 13-hour days.
Yep.
On a Sunday, I would go out to Manly by the water.
Yeah,
Water's
nice.
a calming, it sort of just grounded me on the
Beautiful.
Sundays, and I got
Yeah,
into
I
a
agree.
routine of doing that, and it just set me up for the week.
Awesome. And what do you do there?
What do I do?
Right.
Go get an acai bowl. So if you see me on Instagram, I'm always posting about them.
Nice.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Take my friends' dogs for a walk, or just walk along the boardwalk
Wow.
and sit there and look out into the ocean. It's really
Beautiful.
calming.
Yeah.
And sometimes do my deep dive out there, and seems to get the best results.
Wow. So kind of get connected.
Definitely.
And then, yeah. Tell me about this deep dive.
The deep dive.
Yeah. So we have a process here, guys, which is part of one of the programs where it's called a cleaning house part, and we do this deep dive. It's 138 questions where we go through pretty much every area of your life, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Every area.
There's no stone unturned. We go through relationships. We go through things that I feel guilt or shame around. We go through, worthlessness, abandonment, powerlessness, stories that we tell ourselves. We go through sex. We go through everything. And it helps people get clear on, what's real in their life, what's theirs, what's not. Hey, that was dad stuff. Hey, that was the school teacher in grade 5 stuff. That's not even me. They start to, I guess, let go of the things that aren't theirs and get clear on who they really, really are. What was your experience of that? How did you find doing that process?
I found the deep dive amazing. Like, obviously, when you first open it up, it can be quite confronting.
Yeah.
Very much so, because you're
Yeah.
going through the topics. But it's an awesome opportunity just to be open and honest with yourself.
Yeah, wow.
That's the biggest key. Like, yes, you're sharing it with your coach, but it's also with yourself, and then you find things about you that you didn't realize affected your life, and good things about you. Because I was always the negative side of things. I'd always look at the negative side to my life and the things I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started writing positive things down about what I've done in my
Wow,
life,
who
and
you
it just changed.
Yep.
Felt great.
Wow, awesome.
It's definitely one of the keys to inner work, the deep dive.
And would you say that's changed you as a person, doing it?
100%, definitely.
Yeah, wow.
Definitely.
And changed you how?
Just the way I show up for myself.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
Definitely in like setting boundaries. 2 years ago I wouldn't know what boundaries were.
Yeah.
Let alone, and I'd just abandon myself for other people, help
Yeah,
them.
wow,
But
wow.
now through that I've learned to show up for myself and do things for myself, and it's
Awesome.
it's been an amazing, just the way life has evolved around doing that,
So good.
from stronger relationships to just general happiness and well-being,
So
and
good.
balance in my life again.
Wow, very, very cool. Very, very cool. And so with that then, what's life like now?
Life,
Compared to where you were when we first spoke on the phone and you're like really
Oh,
not good.
it's-
What's life like now?
it's so much different in a way that more meaningful.
Yep.
I feel like I've got a purpose again. I'm not lost.
Yep.
And I'm happy and content, every single day. Not all the time, don't get me wrong. There's
Yeah.
moments where it comes in there, but I am happy with who I am
Wow.
and
Huge.
where I'm heading. So
Happy and content every single day and has purpose and meaning.
Yes.
It's about as good as it gets, guys. He's a very humble guy. He's a very humble, soft-spoken guy, but if you actually stop and consider and think that's pretty much as good as life gets. To experience, meaning, purpose, feeling happy and content every single day. Not all the time, but in every day experiencing that. Epic, amazing. What do you no longer carry? Is there anything that you've lost as a result of this process? Is there anything that no longer, is it in your thoughts or any stuff that no longer?
definitely the negativity,
Yeah, wow.
parenting my mind now.
Yep.
And just acknowledging it when the thoughts do come in.
Yep.
And definitely looking more on the positive side of things.
Yep.
Especially with some of the things I do with work. With work I used to just cruise,
Yeah.
never put myself out there, always ask people what they would think for their ideas, and then it wasn't.
Yeah,
If it was
wow.
wrong, it's not me.
Wow,
Now,
yeah,
the confidence is there. I'm happy to, if I make a mistake, learn from it.
Own it, yeah,
Own
yeah,
it,
wow.
instead of playing the victim.
So good, because so many of us do that, right? Like just kind of cruise through life, let other people make the decisions, let other people kind of be in charge, because then I can't fail and can't get it wrong.
Exactly.
And so I don't fail or get it wrong, but I also don't feel good about myself because I'm not being me at all, ever.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
you change that.
Change that.
Epic.
And it's changed my life. Just the whole outcome from work to
Yeah, wow.
general life. So
Wow, awesome, man.
I'm
Awesome.
very grateful.
Very cool. Okay. What's the biggest thing, or if there are a couple of things that you had to face to overcome and to become this person, what would they have been?
What I had to face was just looking inside and just owning my actions, really.
Yeah.
Like I said, always played the victim, always had an excuse. I got really good at telling people what they wanted to hear, but my actions wouldn't line up or wouldn't match. So
Yeah, wow.
that was the biggest thing I needed to overcome. And once I admitted that to myself and actually did this whole process for myself, that's when the results came.
Yeah. And I think there's something that I see in you particularly that I don't see in everyone that is holds a lot of people back, is that you've just actually shown up and done the things. You know what I mean? Like you said, I turned up at Inner Work Circle and I was shitting myself and I was really scared, but I still did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got the deep dive and I was scared to look at it like, well, that's big stuff, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
And I see Brenton come in here every week and sit down half an hour before his session and he's answering questions. You know what I mean? And there's probably Sundays where you didn't want to go to Manly and might have preferred to go to the pub or whatever.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
No.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's not that you're now completely absent of fear and that you don't have any worries in the world ever anymore. It's that, hey, the worries are there, but I've learned how to parent myself through them and turn up and be the man that I want to be in the world, regardless of the fear. And that's real courage.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
So I want to acknowledge that in you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's
Definitely,
impressive.
and I'm proud of myself for doing it. I just got to believe in the process
Yeah.
of this inner work journey, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, wow.
But you've got to put in the effort. Like, you can do your one-on-ones in the inner work circle, but you've also got to put the effort outside of it.
In your life.
In your life.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
the practices into play, and you start seeing results pretty quickly.
Awesome, man. So what would you say to someone considering doing this, or someone that can relate to your story, or someone that's perhaps abandoning themselves with their behaviors or work or drinking or anything like that? What would you say to someone who's going, oh shit, I can probably relate to him, I need to do some work on myself, but I don't know if this is right for me? What would you say?
I'll just say, just believe in yourself and make the jump, and just do it for yourself. Don't do it for anyone else. I think that's the biggest key.
Yeah.
And anything's possible to be.
Yeah, wow, awesome.
Doesn't matter where you are in your life, the possibility of being happy and content every single day and getting the results is just putting in the effort.
Yeah, wow.
Definitely.
Awesome, man. Very, very cool. Well, dude, I wanted to say thank you for coming in today. I'm really amazed and happy, grateful to be able to share this. And if I'm really honest, when we first spoke and knowing where you were, and if I'm just frank, like, I don't know, I did not foresee that I'd be sitting here having a conversation with this version of you today. So massive respect.
I admit that myself.
Yeah, and it's like so cool to see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Much appreciated.